stable connection and all that sort of stuff. So, camera's down there.
Okay, camera's down there.
Yeah. So, what's going on?
Nobody's here.
Not yet.
Oh, that's sad.
But hey, it's working.
We're
so
having a great time in Denver.
Yep. The conference is still going on. Lots of really good speakers and
Sarah
presentations.
Hallberg is talking virtually right now.
Yeah. Well, because there's a lot of the speakers who couldn't come, or for whatever reason. There was a lot of, is the conference still going to happen? Is it not? And yeah, it's still happening. So, Lucy wants to know how Denver is.
Yeah, it's so great.
It sprinkled a little bit of snow yesterday, and so I went by Buffalo Wild Wings yesterday to pick up lunch for us.
Yeah.
And the server was like, "Yeah, there aren't very many people here because of the snow." I'm like,
Wait, the snow?
"Yeah, like there was no snow.
I didn't see any snow.
It barely sprinkled at all."
Oh.
So Jetta's on, Jason's on.
Hi.
So yeah, the last couple days our live stream has been sparse, to say the least.
You should come say hi to our people.
Yeah, and tell everybody what you do, which is run.
Conferences.
Right here.
Right here.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
So how's it going? The camera's down there.
Okay.
This is the comments.
So tell him
you
what his name is.
Doug Reynolds.
I know, but you got to introduce yourself.
So So I'm Doug Reynolds, and I'm the founder, I suppose you can say, of Low Carb USA, together with my other half, Pam Bovine.
Nice.
And we put on conferences pretty much around the country. We've
San Diego.
San Diego is like our flagship one,
Yeah.
and then Florida we're pretty much doing every year. But then we're doing other ones around the country. We've done Seattle and San Francisco.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We
Did you do one in LA?
We didn't do one. We haven't
okay.
done one in LA, no. But
Okay.
we actually, I was actually looking at the RFP for the hotels in Hawaii next year. So
Really?
So we're thinking of doing Hawaii.
Oh, I want to come to that one.
I was about to say Miriam would be on board for that.
But yeah, I think even more important than that is the community that we're building and the clinical guidelines that we published. I think that's the thing that we're most proud of. And if there's anybody listening, if you're a doctor, you need to look at those things. Help get them to your colleagues, and if you're a patient, print the damn thing out and take it to your doctor, man. Really.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not on board.
Yeah,
Some of them will bin it, but some of them will actually feel like, okay, now because there's so many doctors that actually get it, but are not prepared to talk to their patients about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not standard of care yet.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're really working on getting in place. Is the guidelines are not standard of care.
Yeah.
But it's a starting point to get the doctors that do practice this to have a consensus about it, which then is standard of care.
Well, I remember when we went to Low Carb USA in San Diego, that was the thing that you were really pushing.
Right.
Was changing that. We got to change that.
Right.
And you guys also have, when people ask, my doctor doesn't do keto. You guys have on your site, on the Low Carb USA,
Correct.
a
How to talk to a doctor.
well, no, it's a list.
A provider's list.
Yeah.
So you put in you can put in
Yeah.
your zip code, and sometimes it may, because it doesn't. It actually kind of looks out. So you may even be a state away if it's that, there may be some states that don't have one. But at least you have an idea of where you might find a doctor that can help you. And some of the time, you can get hold of them. A lot of them do virtual stuff.
That's true.
Brian
Yeah.
Lenskes has a virtual consultation thing now.
Well, he just switched over. He was doing in.
Yeah, so he's still at the moment in a practice with about
Yeah.
eight other doctors, and he's switching over to direct primary care. And opening his own practice with another
Wow.
doctor that he met in Boca.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
Actually, in Boca, he made the decision because he was always thinking like
He was on let's do it.
Yeah, he needed a partner. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so and it needed to be female and things so that he at least had one female doctor in the practice.
yeah.
That's a good
That's
idea.
helpful.
And they just hit it off. And she was she's in. Chicago.
Okay.
But she told him, like, I'm planning to leave and just go to San Diego. I think she's sick of the weather in Chicago. And it just all kind of clicked, you know. And
that's really cool.
So now he's starting his own practice, yeah.
That's so cool.
So Candace wants to know, when is the next Low Carb USA in San Diego?
Okay, so San Diego starts the 27th to the 30th of August.
Okay.
And
hopefully enough time for all this craziness.
Hopefully the sanity has been restored by that stage.
We're
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah. No, I mean, she's 5-6 months at a time. If we're still on shutdown mode, then we're in a great deal of hurt.
Now, is San Diego the next one, or is there one in between?
So it's not a totally ours, but we're doing one in partnership with Tro Collagen, who's the other half of the Low Carb MD with Brian Lenskes. He's doing one in New York in July.
Yeah, we're going
We'll
to
be
that
there
one
for that.
too.
Okay,
Yeah.
so so I'm kind of working with him on that, helping him since it's the first one that he's done, so helping him with the logistics and everything, and I'm doing all the CME credits.
Oh, wow.
Because
Nice.
so it's in partnership with Low Carb USA, and we are accredited with the CBD office in London. So,
Wow.
That's awesome.
So we can do the credits for that.
Do you know of any virtual cardiologists?
Brett Scher.
Okay.
Brett Scher, I believe,
there
has
you go.
if you look him up, he has I don't
Well, Nadir, he's a cardiologist too, but I don't know if he does that.
I don't know if he does, but I know that Brett does online consultations. So he's the guy
is he lowcarbmd.com? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Brett Scher?
If you search for Brett Scher,
Yeah,
SCHER.
I'm sure. Yeah, SCHER, correct. I mean, and he's the medical officer of Diet Doctor now. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's in California too.
He's
right?
in San Diego as well. Yeah.
It's all about San Diego,
Also
isn't
a
it?
good friend.
He's a low carb cardiologist.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Hey, thanks for stopping by,
Okay,
Doug.
no problem, man.
With your pink jacket, that's awesome.
I love this thing. That's part of my uniform.
Does it say I love bacon on the
Of
back?
course it does.
There you go.
Yeah, nice. But I don't have anything that doesn't say that anymore.
That's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Doug. Let's see. So let's look back a little bit. So Nancy said that in Texas they're shutting down crowds larger than 200.
Ours is 100 in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
So for 2 weeks.
Okay, there you go. And John is in Belgium.
Oh, hi.
Awesome. Let's see. Shantan said, let's see, we got
Carla
Cos.
said hi.
Yeah,
Nancy said hi.
we got a lot. Oh, Mel
Jason
got her
said
pink
if
patch
he's working from home, he'll be able to get on our lives more.
Nice. Jason says Hawaii, all the spam you can eat. So one thing that we, our youngest son, one thing that he really likes to do is he will slice. Well, he won't.
I will.
We will slice up spam. You fry it on both
Fry it.
sides.
I
and
think
then-
it's gross.
And you put
Ew.
cheese in it.
I'd rather have every other meat.
It's a grilled cheese spamwich.
Yeah,
It's delicious. It's super salty.
Yeah, I could just eat salt and then have the saltiness. So
I
that'd be
think
good.
it's delicious. I'd also like to point out I'm wearing my orange Keto
Pumpkin
Chow
shirt.
that Miriam
I have my
thinks is
brown
weird.
shirt.
Hey, Happy's on.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about coronavirus? Everybody else is.
Okay.
So we're trying to wash our hands and stuff and do everything that we need to.
Yeah.
Our kids are going to be home for the next 2 weeks because school is going to go online
Yeah.
for them, but they're going to do like training with the teachers on Monday and Tuesday, and then they'll start on Wednesday. So we're hoping that I won't be dying by Thursday with my kids home, and at least we have 6 computers, so magically
Yeah. So
there will
everyone
be
made
enough for them to do their
when we were doing our
school.
renovation.
Yeah.
We had a computer station that had 3 spots, and people were like, "Why would you need that many computers?" I'm like, "Well, we have that many kids."
Yeah, so people make fun of us that we have 3 main full-size computers.
And then
But
there's 2 laptops and
Yeah.
a Chromebook.
Yeah, well,
So-
and the girls have their own laptops now,
Yeah.
the 18-year-olds.
Yep.
So as for Keto Salt Lake, we're hoping
We're gonna see what happens in the next 2
that
weeks.
things will calm down enough that we can still hold it. So we will see,
Yep. Which, if worst case scenario, it's postponed.
and
So-
then we'll be heartbroken. But
Yeah.
we need to take care of our family and our society and our community,
Yep.
and it's important.
So Mike said Smith's Market was sold out of almost all meat yesterday. People are weird.
Yeah. Well, I just keep reminding myself I have an entire deep freeze of a cow. So we're going to be okay.
That's
and
true.
we have chickens. Even though I'd like some more chickens, we have chickens.
That came up yesterday. There was someone who had posted something, and so I kind of like adapted it for my own use because we're going to have so many kids that are like out of school for the next little while. I'm like, now is the time to buy baby chickens. Give your
So that they
kids
can have
something to do.
I know, I'm so tempted to just be like, everybody clean your room and go to the store today and buy 3 chicks.
Yeah, but
and
we
then they would
have-
clean their rooms, right?
So our city allows there's a maximum number of chickens that you can have on a 1/4 acre lot,
And
which
we
is
have
what
a
we
tiny
have.
little yard.
And we have the maximum number of chickens right now. We cannot
Yeah,
buy
we don't
any
want to
more.
break the laws.
So-
I mean, kind of do, but not really.
Jason says his daughter's out for a month.
Oh, man.
Carla loves Spam. Grew up on fried Spam sandwiches.
Nice.
Heather says they have tons of Keto Chow, butter, eggs, and meat. We're prepared for anything. There you go. Erica, all stocked up and ready, asking for a friend. Vodka? I had a buddy
We
who's...
don't have that.
Yeah, I had a buddy whose grandpa had a whole bunch of vodka in his food storage. He's like, dude, you don't even drink. And the grandpa's like, yeah, but
But everybody else does.
everybody else does, and it keeps forever.
Good for bartering.
I'm like, okay. Let's see, Shantan. I told my kids we're doing spring cleaning. There you go.
Yeah, we told our kids that too. I'm like, Monday we're cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tuesday we'll clean. Because if they're home for 2 weeks and they get their homework done, then at least they can go into a room that they can function in.
Yeah, that's true.
Instead of saying, I'm too busy to clean my room. That's a bunch of baloney.
Jason says, I hope they didn't postpone or cancel KetoCon. I
So
don't
far,
think they will.
KetoCon has not been postponed or canceled.
Well, it's far enough out. Because the whole thing is, okay, you don't want to have this big spike of cases.
Mm-hmm.
You want to flatten it down. I mean, the people who are going to get it eventually will get it eventually. But you want to not overwhelm the healthcare system.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to, space it out a bit. And that's the whole thing with the distancing. By the time KetoCon comes around, I think we'll be past all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
Yep, and KetoCon's
my
far enough
supposition.
away, and that's what Doug was saying. His conference is in August, and by the time August
Yeah.
comes around, then maybe Rod will come over here and talk to our people.
Rod, over here, right here.
Right here.
So Rod Tayler, he runs Low Carb Down Under.
He helps Jeff Gerber do this conference, so
Yeah.
he's essentially in charge.
That's right. So you guys have a bunch of conferences coming up really soon there in Australia, right?
Yeah, we've got conferences in Melbourne, Sydney and Perth
Yes.
in May. Now look, I guess there's possibly a cloud over them. They're quite small meetings, they're one-day meetings.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things pan out with
Yeah.
regard to coronavirus, but
It's
we'll-
far enough out.
Yeah,
I think you're going to be okay.
yeah. Anyway, we can do virtual. We can always make it a virtual
there you go.
conference. So there are ways of doing it. And, yeah.
Okay.
Can I say a few words about the
Please
conference?
do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please do.
Well, Low Carb Denver 2020. So Jeff Gerber, who's a family physician
It's fantastic.
from Denver, and I have been running conferences in Colorado since 2016. So this is our 5th year, and our conferences are great. We get great speakers, and we have an amazing group of people who come along, our participants. Of course, this has been a challenging year, very
It has.
challenging, the last week particularly.
Oh yeah.
And,
Everything's been in so much in flux.
yeah.
It's like you just don't even know, but yeah.
And really, so many people had to cancel, but we've still got about 300 people here, so we've got more than a quorum.
Yeah.
So this is we're excited. Some of our great speakers couldn't come, but we have their talks recorded, and so we'll actually have more material. And so, as we had space in the program, new talent has come out of the woodwork.
That's true.
And we've
We
had
had filled
some
the gaps.
absolutely fantastic talks. So it'll all be online. It'll all be on Low Carb Down Under. It'll take a little while to get that up, but keep an eye on Low Carb Down Under YouTube channel. which now has had 21 million views. We've got 180,000 subscribers. So I think we've got a great resource in
for
the
sure.
low carb arena, and it's all freely available.
Well, streaming is, people can live stream it as well, right? I mean, there's still a day left of the conference. Well, a day and a half.
Yeah.
If people do the live stream, did they get access to the recorded videos?
Oh, totally.
Okay,
Totally. And that will last for 8 weeks.
nice.
So even if you haven't signed up for the live stream yet, you can at any time. You can really at any time in the next 8 weeks.
There you go.
The cost is about $60 US for amazing content. Ultimately, it'll all be up there free anyway, but it
Yeah,
takes a
it
while
takes a
for
while.
us to get it up, and I think a great option for people. By the way, I think a lot of us are going to have a bit of time on our hands
Just a little bit.
over the next little while. So here's a perfect opportunity to really get up to date on the latest in low carb. This is going to be good for you, for people to know. It's going to be good for their health.
Yeah.
It's going to be good for their family health.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we all need to be eating better.
Yeah.
And eating better, we're saying, well, we think the best of all the options for the great majority of people is a low carb, high fat, whole food diet.
I don't think anybody reasonable would disagree with that. But emphasis on the reasonable.
Reasonable.
Yeah. I guess one thing about low carb, we're quite definite about what we call a good diet.
That's true.
So it's 50 grams of carb or less. So, you know, that's your first goal. If you're not doing that, well, you're probably not giving yourself the best opportunity to be in the best shape and health you can be. So we, you know, unlike lots of diets like, you know, Mediterranean or paleo, we're quite specific. And I think that makes it easier for people. And we've also got the data and the science that shows getting to this low carb, we could even call it very low carb diet, of 50 grams a day or less, which essentially we're talking no bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, and sugar, of course. Anybody out there who's still having significant sugar, you should be worried and make some
Changes.
serious changes in your life quickly before it's too late. Is that scaremongering?
No, it sounds like a reasonable thing.
It sounds scarier from down under.
It's true. The very refined accent, but all right. Hey, thank you for stopping by.
Hey guys, thank you very much for coming along as you do each year and supporting our Colorado meeting. I mean, yeah, it's good watching the live stream, but coming face to face at meetings like this
Elbow to elbow.
is really, and the connections that we make are fabulous. So hopefully next year we'll be back in Denver. I think the dates are the 4th to the 7th of March next year.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And hopefully everything will have blown over and everybody will be wanting to travel.
That's right.
And everybody will be wanting to really get us up to speed on good, healthy nutrition as possible.
For sure.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
By the way, Mike says that he loves your videos on low carb diet down under,
Great.
and Heather's really looking forward to seeing them. So,
Fantastic.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. Shantam wants to know: are we still going to have regular store hours at our Utah location?
Yeah, we will. We're giving our employees the option if they want to stay home with their kids for the 2 weeks, they can, but I'm pretty sure that most of them won't. So we've been exposed to each other every day, all day long in our team. So Chris and I and Holly and Steve actually are going to be out for a little bit just because we've been exposed to all these new people. But everybody that's at home has been around each other.
Yeah.
So I think that they will be fine. And we're less than 100 people, so we're not going to get in trouble for having people at work.
The other problem is they can't really work from home because
they have to ship things
put
and
stuff
put it
in
in a
boxes.
box. So we're just
do-
going to have our regular hours, and we'll just make sure we wipe down everything like we normally do. We'll just make sure redouble our efforts and make sure things are clean
Yep. And the stuff still lasts
taken
2
care
years.
of. Mhm. Yeah.
So let's see.
Well, and it's nice to know that if I get home and there's nothing in the grocery store, I still have my Keto Chow. So.
Oh, Heather, where Haley lives, she can have 30 chickens.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
It'd be crazy. Oh, and Mike has 3 computers on his desk.
Oh wow.
Let's see. Happy says Sam's Club parking lot was full, so we avoided going. There was
yeah.
actually a fist fight at a Costco yesterday.
Oh, that's so sad.
And One Bad Marine is here. Let's see. Candace says San Diego has banned gatherings, 250 or more.
250. That's why, Doug was saying August. Hopefully it'll be different. So.
Mike says we probably have 300 pounds of wheat, pasta, rice in my food storage. When we started keto, we've been trying to replace it.
I know we got rid of most of ours. I think we have maybe some like potato pearls or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to get more canned meat, lots of canned meat and
Yeah.
fat. That's the other thing. Like we realized we have enough fat to last us a couple of
We
weeks.
need to get some canned fish that's in oil.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. Come say hi to our people.
Doing the live stream. You're on it, Dorian. Come on in.
So you guys probably
This is Dorian.
all know Dorian from Keto Mojo. He's
Yeah.
one of our
Guys.
friends.
Do you have your Keto Mojo lanyard? Of course he does.
I have my Keto Mojo lanyard, of course, yes, so everybody knows I'm Keto Mojo.
Yes. So what are you doing here? What are you doing here with your painted
Testing people
toenails?
with them, their
Oh,
ketones,
I haven't
that's
had my
that's-
ketones checked yet today.
Yeah.
No? What's up with that?
I don't know.
Well, I always feel guilty testing when I'm like, I have my stuff in my bag.
The thing is like, you guys have been doing this for so long. You test you're in ketosis, you test
Really?
you're in ketosis.
Yeah.
You don't need to test it.
Yeah, I
If we've done our job correctly, you don't need to prick your finger. I mean,
Yeah.
I should be out of a job. And
Yeah.
my goal is I should work my way out of a job that everybody knows how to eat properly, everybody
There you
knows
go.
what they need to do, everybody eats healthily, job done. I can go and retire onto a beach in Thailand or something because it's cheaper there.
So Gemma was telling us that you guys sometimes do shows like fitness shows, and people will be like, "Yeah, I want to check my ketones" as they're eating a banana.
Yeah.
That's
That's
hard.
kind of like the hard part. There is a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of people really just don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing, especially actually in the fitness world with fitness coaches, constantly saying you need carbs to perform.
Is butter a carb?
Let me think about this. But I think it's a food group all on its own.
It's delicious.
For sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I have a question for you. I've been reading up about the GKI. So what is that and why is it important?
The great question. So the GKI is glucose ketone index, and this was first put forward by Professor Thomas Seyfried, who wrote A Metabolic Approach to Cancer.
I've heard of him.
And he was that kind of like posited that cancer is a metabolic disease because cancer feeds on glucose. And this came back to Dr. Warburg, who won the Nobel Prize for his work on cancer feeding on glucose. So if you look at the relationship between your glucose measurement, and in America we measure in milligrams per deciliter, but you need to divide that by 18 to put it in millimoles like the rest of the
Oh,
world.
okay.
That's
And that way the ketones and the glucose are on the same
Exactly.
same measurement.
Same
thing.
measurement. Then you
Okay.
divide that by your ketone measurement, you could get your index. So really, really hard to get is a ratio under 1. So you would need to have like blood glucose under your 80s, so around about 4.6, 4.5 millimoles. And you would need to have very, very high ketones to get a
Okay.
relationship underneath 1. To do that, you need to be in severe caloric restriction. You need to be doing 1 meal a day. You need to be doing like a 4-3 meal on that one. And you're only going to be doing this kind of ketogenic diet is if you've got cancer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a therapeutic level.
A very high therapeutic
Yeah.
level. Then from 1 to 3 is a high therapeutic level. So you're going to need to be in like the mid 70s milligrams per deciliter and have your ketones in maybe the 3s, 2.5s, 3s, something like that. 6 to 9 is sort of like 3 to 6 is a deep state of nutritional ketosis, and 6 to 9 is sort of like nutritional ketosis.
Okay.
And I like to measure my GKI in the morning about an hour after waking.
Okay.
And I do that one because obviously the dawn phenomenon is blown off.
Yeah.
But then I find that the GKI becomes a much more consistent number. If you try to do your GKI after eating, you're obviously going to skew all of your results. So I do GKI kind of like once a day, once a week, depending on what I'm up to.
Okay, and in order to do the GKI, you need to test both your glucose and your ketones.
Yes, yes.
Does the Keto Mojo do GKI on the thing yet?
Well, it does in Europe, which we launched 10 days ago. Thank you for the
wow.
lead-in on that one there. Yeah, very excited. We launched in Europe. We're in another 22 nations throughout. We are based in the Netherlands, and we ship throughout Europe right now. And it's our second generation meter. So we've done like huge amounts of differences. We've completely changed the strip architecture. It has super SIP technology, so it's high speed.
So it's a little tiny
It's a higher speed. It's actually, we suck more than other strips, is what I could say. But that would be not, I don't think that's a really good moniker. But what it is that we changed the way that the strip actually sucks through capillary action. So it comes up a lot quicker and faster.
So you need less blood for it.
It's not actually less blood. It stops getting what's known as a false positive from a fill level.
Okay.
And the other one was the American one has slightly slower, and so we changed the
I've
strip.
noticed that you hit it and it's like
Exactly. So this one goes a lot faster. It's in blister packs. We have control solutions included.
so they're
in it.
individually packaged.
For Europe, yes, on the new manufacturing line, it actually will put it into GKI mode. It will calculate the GKI, and it has Bluetooth built on in. It links to an app. The manual is in 8 languages.
Wow.
Our website is now, I think, in a huge number of different languages. So you just go down the bottom, you can change the language into what. It's even in Welsh from my father, because my father's Welsh. So I was like, you know what, Daddy, I'm going to give you a Welsh website.
That's hilarious. Wow, so that's some cool stuff. The U.S. one, well, because it was the first one.
Yes.
And in order to do it here in the U.S., you have to get a whole bunch of approval because of the glucose reading, right?
Correct. Glucose is very, very strict because people will be adjusting their insulin to glucose. Yeah. There's a lot more leeway for ketones.
Yeah.
And in fact, there's actually a loophole within the law that there are now some people just selling ketone meters in America, and they're bovine meters.
So they're for testing ketones in cows.
Yeah, and what they've done is they rebundled it up. So the question to ask is, is it FDA? Do they have a 510K? And if they don't have an FDA 510K, then you're probably getting a bovine meter. So that's probably most of the super cheap things that are flooding in. Mm-hmm. Your mileage may vary, is all I'm going to say.
Well, I like to eat cows. So
yeah, I like vegetarians. I couldn't eat a whole one, but for sure.
That is the hardest part about it. Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to tell that joke on the air. The new version of the Keto Mojo.
Keto Mojo GKI is what it's called.
When's that going to be coming to the U.S.?
So we're hoping that'll come to the U.S. by about Q3. The FDA is very, very Byzantine when it comes to the.
Medical devices.
We submitted an 800-page report to give you an idea of how much. So just so people understand, when you're
Did you make Mitch do that?
No, Mitch. I have a biotech guy who does that. I have here. He has a master's and a PhD. Okay. You need some big brains, not me for sure. So. To be able to do a glucose and to be used in the medical world, we have to do 200 tests in the pediatric body, 200 tests in an adult body, 200 tests in a geriatric body, and then we have to do it in a low, medium, and high concentration of ketones. And that person has to test them themselves. Then they have to be tested by somebody else, and then they have to have a blood sample taken that goes back to an actual lab, and everything has to correlate through.
Wow.
And so when you think about it...
When you say 200 tests, you're not talking about, I do it 5 times, me. You're talking 200 individuals?
200 individuals.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So then you have all the lab costs to be able to do that. And so you have to say that somebody using the equipment themselves can get this because they have a different sanitation technique to somebody in a hospital.
For sure.
Somebody in a hospital will get this because they're wiping away the first drop, they're using the second drop. And then what that will actually mean onto a blood lab test. And then you have to correlate within a specific accuracy to get that.
Now, my sanitation technique is I put my finger in my ear,
don't even
and then
say that.
wait. No.
You know, I think there's definitely a study out that shows on the antiseptic properties of earwax, I feel sure on that one.
What?
Keto Mojo in Canada.
Keto Mojo in Canada. Yes, we have a thing called Project Pathfinder. And Project Pathfinder is, we have a goal to basically try and take the company global. So the second generation meter will eventually come to Canada. But I do believe that there's a company called bestketonetest.com, and they can get Keto Mojos into Canada. I can't do it myself direct, but other people can do it, I believe.
Gotcha.
I think I've been on that site.
Right.
All right. Mike wants to know, why would anybody want to measure ketones in a cow?
That is an interesting question.
So let's just take the last feeding operation that happens into a cow is they start pumping carbohydrates, corn, into those cows. Now,
Yeah.
in a concentrated animal feeding operation, the carbohydrates they can use is any kind of carbohydrate that they can find.
Okay.
And that can include Skittles, candy that's gone off
Yeah.
pieces. It can be
Well, it fattens people up.
Yeah, whatever you can do, you're trying to fatten these people up quickly, and so cows get diabetes. And so they kind of like have to manage the herd and not have diabetic ketoacidosis within the cows. So
Okay.
bovine measurement is pretty big. It sounds sad like that, that's why we want to go for pastured raised quality beefs and meats, because this is how a cow is supposed to eat, and you know that you're not going to be eating a sick cow.
Huh, that's interesting.
That is really
know
interesting.
that.
It's kind of scary when you sort of like think about it, yeah.
Okay, Mike says he didn't know that the second drop was better for...
Yeah, so if you think about that, there's you've got what's known as interstitial glucose. So sometimes on that first drop that comes out, you're going to have the interstitial glucose mixed with the capillary glucose. So if you do the
Okay.
wipe on the first one, use the second drop, you'll get more consistency.
Interesting.
So then you have to have really warm hands.
Yeah, so
Dorian taught me something, which is you put it down between your knees and jump
then-
up and down.
well, that's a bit, you thought it was funny, but I just wanted to make you do that and see what everybody would laugh at you. But
It really does work,
You can
though.
do what's known as the pistol grip, which is like you
Yeah.
take a finger like that, and then you
Yeah.
put it around there, and you can hold it for 20 seconds, roughly like that, and then you're going to have hypostatic pressure within the finger, and then that allows you to get a better finger stick in
Okay.
that respect. But warm soapy water, wash your hands beforehand. It's the way to go.
What about jumping jacks?
Jumping jacks are absolutely fantastic. Jazz hands work too. Jazz hands, guys.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, so you're just moving forward, right?
Yeah, we're moving forward. I don't know if you guys have checked out the website of late. We have a chef in San Francisco we've been working with. We do 15 new recipes every 6 weeks. That comes on out there,
Oh, yeah.
so a whole lot of
that's cool.
recipes for free. There's some really fun upgrades that's going to be happening with the app over the next 60 to 90 days. So we're going to increase and change the app that we built out over time.
You gonna re-release that other app?
No.
Okay.
So yeah, we were building another app, and we basically, imagine if you're buying a sports car and outside it looks really, really great, then you come and find out that it's got like a lawnmower engine and that the exhaust is falling
Garbage
off.
inside.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what we got. And
Oh.
so we basically have had to walk away from $400,000 worth of app development and start again. Yeah, that hurts.
Delightful.
Yeah. But we're doubling down. We will create a really great app that everybody.
You making Gemma do that?
No, I'm not doing that one. It will
No,
link
Gemma.
in with Apple Health Kit.
Oh,
soon.
really?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
we've got
That's
that. That's good. That should be on the roadmap. Hopefully within the next 30 days that'll be finished. We're going through beta testing right now on the Apple Health Kit connection, so that will come on in. Obviously, it connects with Heads Up Health right now.
Yeah.
And other EHR systems will be coming online.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
You
Thank
go
you.
do your thing.
Oh, we shouldn't be touching each other. Can we just touch on the shoulders and it's all okay? All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Either one.
All right. So let's see. Yeah, Mike says cow diabetes. I had no idea. Keto Mom says good time for a small church. And Sean Tan is loving today's live stream. It's a longer one than we normally do.
Yeah,
we just got people walking
grabbing
around. It's super fun.
walking around.
We had Richard Morris who was walking by earlier. I was going to snag him, but he already took
Mark
off.
Cucuzella walked by twice. Should have grabbed him.
Well,
We haven't met him in person yet. We've seen him a couple of times.
yeah, he gave a talk. I think that was him about continuous
CMGs.
glucose monitors yesterday.
There's
Really
Richard
interesting
Morris
stuff.
right now. Let's grab him.
Yeah, but if Richard comes over here, then we need to get his partner in crime from Canada over here too.
Let's do it. Let's grab him. We're gonna grab him. Psst, come here.
This way, that way. We're going that way.
Come say hi to our friends.
And we're doing a live stream, and you guys are going to be on it.
Come right between us.
G'day.
Who are you?
What?
Yeah, Richard Morris. How's it
So
going?
what's your name?
I'm Rafi.
Okay.
Rafi from Nutrita.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Rafi's good mate.
Karen, come on in.
I'm hiding over here.
Karen's here too. Here,
We'll make space.
I'll put my head off the side.
Karen Ogilvie.
So we've got former keto dude.
Keto
You're still a dude though, right?
I think so, yeah.
And you're from the Great White North.
I'm from Canada and Keto Science Alliance, where I live most of the time.
Is a what? It's a Facebook page.
On Facebook, yeah.
Oh, I've heard of the Facebooks.
You've heard of the Facebook?
I have.
Yeah. Keto Science Alliance.
Yes.
Okay, and what is Nutria?
Nutrita is a foods tracking app,
Okay.
and we give people keto scores, insulin score, nutrient density score to be an alternative to the calorie counting nonsense, basically.
Oh, okay. Now you're talking. Is it today or tomorrow?
I'm not talking. I'm just presenting a poster.
Oh, okay. I saw something on the schedule, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's important.
Would be news to me in case.
Well, people keep on dropping off and dropping in and dropping off, and stuff. Well, that's cool.
So I went to university 2 years ago.
Well, aren't you still in university?
I am. I'm graduating in June.
You look like such a cute little schoolboy over there. You're shaking the table.
Every time I have an exam, I use Keto Chow chocolate with mint.
Oh, really?
With MCT oil.
Okay.
And it's the only way I can get my ketones up, and I fly. I mean,
Oh, wow.
mentally, I'm in tune for the entire exam. So
Nice.
it's been part of my secret weapon.
Well, you used to just like bike ride for a couple 100 kilometers to get your ketones.
Well, I've never
up,
done
right?
a couple of 100 kilometres. I bike ride for 100 kilometres. Yes. I do 3 times around the lake, and it's 36 kilometres
Wow.
around the lake. So,
That's a lot.
yeah.
Still.
But even still, my ketones don't get up above 1.5.
Yeah.
I have to eat MCT oil to get my ketones, regularly up. So.
Well, and you've talked about that several times on the podcast, and some people just don't have high ketones. And
Yeah, I don't. I
And
have to
that's-
fast like 3 days to get a 1.5.
So what's your normal? Yeah,
It's
what's
like
your normal
0.5
range?
every
Right,
day,
yeah.
and I feel great. Like I can feel it in my mind,
Yeah.
If I just 0.5.
Yeah.
Like, that's
excess
where I live.
ketones does nobody any good.
No.
So.
My normal range is 0.2 to 0.8.
Oh, wow.
Even if I cycle for 3 hours, I'm not going to go above 1.5.
Yeah.
But I know people who go out for a 10K bike ride and they come back with ketones at 3.0.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is different.
I've never seen that
No,
number.
no.
Oh, I routinely get above 5.
Yeah, well, you're not
So
me.
you're different people.
Bragging.
Yeah. Hey, I did 100 days of keto chow, and I was my median was 3.0 over the 100 days, and the highest I got was 5.8.
Amazing.
It's
Anyway,
incredible.
it's just
Well done, dude.
well, and the thing about it is it's not something to it's intellectually
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like, okay, what I'm doing is clearly conducive to a ketogenic diet, but it's not like I'm trying to get that high.
Yeah.
I usually only bring out those numbers when I have someone telling me I should drink ketones.
Right.
It's like,
Yes.
I'm like, I don't see
Why?
a reason. I can make it.
I tried once. I've only ever tried exogenous ketones once for an
Okay.
exam, and I didn't do as well as I
Oh,
expected.
really?
I would.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and those were physiologically normal ketones, so they were, most of these ketone salts are racemic.
Yes, they
mixes.
are.
So
That's with the left hand and the right hand
that's
together.
right, yeah. So if you've ever played Tetris and
You get the wrong
and
one.
you get the wrong kind of L, and your brain says, I see an L, and I see there's a hole that's shaped like an L, and it drops, and it's the wrong, it's bending in the wrong direction.
Yes.
That's the problem with the left-handed version of ketone, of beta hydroxybutyrate.
Yeah.
We are evolutionarily, we've had roughly 3 billion years of experience in dealing with the right-handed version of beta hydroxybutyrate, and we've got like 20 years maybe experience in dealing with the right-hand version, so the left-hand version. So
There are a few exogenous ketone manufacturers that do only have the one.
well, that's the one I
They're
tried.
way.
'Cause I
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
try the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had a need for it yet.
No.
So, whatever.
Most people,
I think
most
you're
people
good.
won't.
I think I'm doing okay
I think you're
too.
good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, no one is selling any here, right? There's no.
I don't think so.
There are no exogenous ketone
That's
Yes.
sellers here.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
So we do
Is that-
keto.
don't
We do
think so.
keto. We did Keto Fest. You guys came along to Keto Fest, and there are a couple of companies that wanted to sell ketones at Keto Fest, and we wouldn't allow them.
Yeah, you're
to
like,
present.
I don't think you guys want to show up for this
No.
crowd.
They still showed up.
They still showed up, and they showed up as attendees and
Okay.
and were using guerrilla marketing techniques. At one point, I think who was it? Eric Westman was being held up by one of these guys. In the
Oh, that's
corridor.
right.
And Karen
I remember
Ogilvie
that.
had to go over and rescue him.
I remember
He's
that.
nice enough to talk to him.
He is.
He was very nice, but he saw me laughing and he called me over. He's like, would you have anything to add? I'm like, yes, I would.
Okay. Ed says, well, hello.
Well, hello.
Heather says, awesome. Keto Mom says, late to the party. So what's going on today? We're just hanging out in the hallway with a bunch of awesome people stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, you guys can continue to go your way and do your thing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
guys.
stopping
Good to catch up.
by.
Bye, everyone.
So let's see. Man, the hits just keep coming, don't they?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Well, let's see. Oh, Mike says he ranges from 0.4 to 0.8
Yeah,
normally. Let's see.
that's kind of where I'm at too.
Oh, Lucy says if y'all get Ivercummins too, I think you would.
Oh, he totally walked by.
Yeah.
A second ago, I should have grabbed him. I was so close.
We have a running joke, him and I, about water on our shoes right now. So.
Yeah, they were having a laugh last
Yeah.
night at the whatever it's
And there's
called.
Ron. Ron, come here
Ron,
quick.
come talk to
Really
us.
quick. Unless you're going to the bathroom.
And then you can come after.
Not anymore. Nope, right here.
Right here.
This is Rohn Rigby.
Hi, guys.
We're doing a live stream, in case
Got
you
it.
wanted to know. We're violating your privacy now.
Oh, well.
So Ron, he actually is really close to where we're from.
Ogden
Ogden.
Clinic.
There you go.
Yep.
So in Ogden, Utah, and you run a clinic,
Yes.
obviously, hence the name.
Well, I don't run the whole Ogden Clinic, but I do the medical weight loss department
That's
of
right.
Ogden Clinic.
Yeah.
In four different clinics there in that area, so yes.
And how big is your waiting list now?
We could probably get you in within a couple of weeks
Okay.
for an initial evaluation, so.
And you
we're
guys
working on
you guys use a lot of low carbohydrate diet as
Yes.
part of your treatment, right?
that. Yes, especially for the people, it's the right scenario in the sense of type 2 diabetics, metabolic syndrome,
Yeah.
polycystic ovarian syndrome, high cholesterol, hypertension, fatty liver. I can keep going if you want me to.
Nurse Cindy's on, by the way.
Oh,
Oh, hi, Cindy.
how are we doing, Cindy?
Hey. So
Haven't seen you for a while.
I know. Well, and,
She wanted to stay home with her family this week.
weird.
Yeah.
She wants to know, is the conference going great? Are you learning stuff yet?
I am learning some new things. Unfortunately, when you go to these things on a regular basis, you hear a lot of the same things, which is great. But every once in a while, you get a new nugget of new information or different ideas. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, they so as vendors, usually we're like stuck out in a different area. We don't get to hear any of the talks. We're actually in the room.
Yeah, I think we were supposed to be out here, actually.
No, over there.
Oh, okay.
But so I've gotten to actually listen to a
I
bunch
know,
of the
it's been
talks
great.
this time.
So have you learned a lot this time?
I have. Dr. Michael Eads talk about like our evolution
the
and all that.
Egyptian.
That was cool stuff. But yeah, there's been some really good information here so far.
So good information. The one that Dr. Sarah Holberg just went over a bunch of older, kind of comparing some different tests or different studies that have been done, showing the benefits of a low carb versus the Mediterranean versus one thing I got out of that was the ADA is now taking the DASH as a recommendation because there's no good evidence, which there hasn't been, but they're now taking it off as one of their options.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
That's a huge, because that was what it was designed to do, is kind of help with lowering your hypertension or high blood pressure. And
Well, that's
the
what it
DASH
means,
diet.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Diet, something,
assisted with
reduce
systemic hypertension or something like that. So it's not recommended anymore.
Wow, and that's the one that like won
crazy.
the diet shootout for the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
That, and then the recommendation is the Mediterranean-based diet, and I just have
What does that mean though?
well, exactly. That's if you look at the history of the Mediterranean, there is no standard American diet or a standard
Mediterranean
Mediterranean
diet.
diet. I did live in Italy for a while when my dad was in the military. And if you go up north and south of Italy, they don't eat the same diet.
Okay.
You'd have to exclude most of the countries that would fit into the Mediterranean area, as you have to eliminate their diet to kind of fit into what
What we think is.
Ansel
What we
Keys
think
called
the
the
Mediterranean diet
Mediterranean-based diet.
It also helps if it's Lent, right?
Oh yeah, that plays a key role. Or if you're originally from Italy or Greece and really like the standards or the lifestyle and trying to reinforce it, or get a lot of money to back some of your studies.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
The olive oil companies.
Yeah, that also helps.
Yeah, that always helps.
There's Cindy wants to know, do you still have a bacon air freshener?
I do not, because my the dog ripped it off. Didn't smell like bacon, but I'll have to get a new one.
You know what you could do? Just cook bacon and then it would smell.
That's what my kids kept saying. Should we just cook bacon, rub on it, and so it would
Just
smell like
cook
bacon. So
and then eat it.
Do you prefer your
That'd be
bacon
good.
cooked in the oven or fried on a pan?
I go through spurts. I've done in the oven. I actually use it in the air fryer sometimes. So it just kind of whatever.
I prefer
Bacon
my
is
bacon
good
made
everywhere.
by Miriam.
I understand that.
I
Unfortunately,
never make bacon.
Yeah, does she make your bacon ever?
no.
Oh,
I made some in a
okay.
pan the other day, some tiny pieces.
Yeah, that's true. Made some for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll let you get back to what you're doing.
Guys,
Ed says off topic, but every time I go to the bathroom, I think, darn, there goes another $10 of toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
All right, it's back. Let's see. Keto Mom says, LOL, Ed. All right, we're still on. Good. My phone, it heard me talking to the search engine that if I say it, it switches over to that. Maybe I need to turn off hot word detection. I can say like, hey Alexa, and nothing happens, but
It's because we're not Alexa.
that's right.
We're Google.
And there's Cindy says air fryer for the bacon. See, we use kind of an air fryer. We use a convection oven.
Yeah, it's really big, and we have a lot of kids, so you can do 3 pans at once.
You can do 3 pans of bacon at the same time.
And then everybody eats it all until it's gone.
And then you've got bacon fat that you can put into the little container for a while.
Or 5 containers.
Yeah, that's right.
We just made jalapeno poppers and put the bacon fat into a container, and it was like delicious jalapeno popper tasting bacon.
Oh, Heather's
fat.
is gonna bring me some of Phil's bacon.
Oh, that sounds good.
That's my favorite kind of bacon, is Phil bacon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to run out to the car and get some chocolate mint.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think we're gonna be done. You ready to be done?
Sure.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining us for this rather long live stream. Usually we don't go this long. And the poor people who are out here trying to get work done, and we're just talking. They're like, are those guys done yet? As Mr. D says, the bacon fat is liquid gold. Oh, and Heather has a convection oven too.
There's Eric Berg walking away.
There he goes. Well, he took the shortcut, so he didn't have to talk to us.
Probably.
Ed says, how big is air fryer do you have?
We have a big one.
We actually do have a big
But
one.
it's
We
just not
bought it
big
for
enough.
Kate. But because we have the convection oven, we tend to just use that instead.
It's just so much bigger.
Mike says you're all making me hungry.
We're
have to knock it
fasting,
out.
so
But
we're
yeah,
okay.
well, so we did that yesterday too. We fasted until lunch.
Tonight we're gonna go to Keto Chow.
Yeah, so it's a
And
Brazilian
it's
barbecue
a
place.
lot of meat, so I gotta save up all my
Yeah, I'm not
meal
gonna-
for
yeah.
that.
Might as well, right? By the way, cooking bacon in a convection oven, yeah, you can put a whole bunch of trays and it circulates the air so it all cooks at about the same rate. It's really cool stuff. I did not realize how cool convection ovens were until we got one.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So, but only half of our oven does convection. The other
Yeah,
half doesn't.
The other half, you can just do it the old-fashioned way and move the trays, trade in
Yeah.
places. So we could actually do 6 trays of bacon at once.
We
'Cause we have
usually
2
just
ovens.
use the bottom oven for
Warm,
keeping stuff
things
warm.
But Thanksgiving and stuff, you can actually
true.
cook. I use it more than I thought I would.
No, Thanksgiving we just cook the turkey in the smoker.
Well, I know, but just keeping everything, like when everybody brings all
Oh,
their
yeah.
dishes, keeping everything warm in 2 ovens.
Works really well. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and
Have a good day. Be
we'll-
safe.
we'll catch
Keep
you
yourself
again.
Clean.
We'll probably do another live broadcast on the Monday, maybe before we leave. I don't know.
We could do one tomorrow morning if you want, because we'll still be here. Maybe
Yeah.
we can catch some more speakers.
Yeah. Speechers.
Speechers.
All right. All right. Bye.
Bye.